So this is what we're going to talk about today, and yeah. Hey guys, it's Redstone here, and today we are going to review the CNC Carvey. I mean the Inventables Carvey. Well, it is a CNC machine, so I was technically correct, if you were just wondering. So, this machine costs about $2,500. I'm just going to get right to the meat and bones of what this review is going to be about. I'm going to show you a couple of the cuts I did. I'm going to show you a lot of things I like about it, things I don't like about it, and if you're on the fence of buying it through like a company or something, then yeah, I'll tell you in the end if I recommend this at all to a small business or an enthusiast home person, but I don't think this is meant for home use. I bought it with my own money. I've actually been saving up for this for a while, so I think it was worth the investment for me, but it might not be worth the investment for you, so it really depends. So, we're going to talk about a couple categories that I think are pretty interesting about this machine, and why I like it, and why I don't like it. So first things first, the biggest thing, in my opinion, is how loud it is. And this thing, for a CNC machine, is actually really quiet. It's quieter than a lot of CNC machines out there. But what's cool about it is that it has this door, right? It has foam. I don't know how you can see that, but there's sound dampening foam. And it does not allow you to carve with the door open. You actually have to have the door closed. So that's kind of cool. I like that. So when the door closes, you can see it creates like this little soundproof barrier. So it is kind of quiet. Now the spindle is what makes the most noise. And here's the spindle. It's actually pretty good. It's a great spindle. I mean, I've been cutting metal and stuff like that. Now, let's talk about, so the quietness, I think it's pretty quiet for a CNC machine, but do not run this in your room. It's not meant for that, alright? This thing is still loud, okay? It's not gonna be, like, quiet by any means. I mean, you just have to expect that from a CNC machine. Any CNC machine that you get is going to be loud. Now, let me just remove that real quick, and now, let's talk about the spindle. So here's the spindle. It has this like little bit thing that comes out, and you can replace the bits with smaller diameter or bigger diameter bits. That's kind of cool. And then right here is the spindle. This spindle is actually really good. I've been using it without any issues. And if you did have issues, it's very easily replaced. That's what's really cool about this printer. It's CNC machine's very, very modular. You can replace this wasteboard easily. As you can see, I kind of cut a bit too deep. I'll talk about all that. As you can see, it's a bit dusty and stuff. It's gonna create dust. I mean, it's a CNC machine. What else would you expect? But yeah, so, personally, I think this machine, spindle is really good. So if you're wondering, this is a great spindle. Now let's talk about the software. And the software is actually pretty good. That's actually the reason why I bought this printer. Its ecosystem is great. The Easel software is probably one of the best softwares I've ever used before. You have to keep your computer tethered to this at all times, but that's not really an issue, at least for me. Having your computer tethered for a CNC carve that takes like 10 minutes, that's not an issue. But I could see it as an issue as longer carves, when you have longer carves. But I don't think that's too much of an issue. So if you're fine with leaving your computer connected to it, you should be fine. So yeah, so the software is great. Now let's talk about the clamping and the overall carve quality off of this thing. And you might be saying it's $2,500. It should have pretty good carve quality. Well, I'm gonna say this right now, it's probably the best carve quality I've ever seen before, and I've only used one CNC machine, so I don't know if like the X carve quality, which I might make an investment of soon. So just be aware of that. So right here are the clamps, right? I want to get a nice close-up so you can see what I'm talking about here. So as you can see, here's the clamps, and what's kind of cool about these is that there's threaded inserts on the bed itself, the wasteboard. And as you can see, these just thread right into them. Just like that. You see how they thread? It's kind of cool. And, that's how you clamp down your material. You put about 3 or 4 of these on the material, and that holds it. And once that holds it, and your carve is done, you just unlatch it, and you take the material out. Now, one issue I have with this is that it's very time-consuming to start carving. Now, the software's very easy. That takes only about, like, a minute. But when you put the material on this bed, what's kind of cool is, and kind of a deal breaker as well, is that it clamps it down well, but then you have to unclamp it to take the material out and put a new piece of material in. So you have to do all that clamping again. And I think that's just a bit of a pain. I think Inventable needs to go back to the drawing board, and I heard they draw a lot on the walls. So go back on your wall and draw a little bit about a new way you can clamp down the material and have it stay in place. Another issue is that these break, actually, pretty easily. I was carving metal with one of them, and they broke. I don't think they're made for that. And you also have to remember that you can't really carve too deep. Because if you carve too deep, the structure's stability of the whole gantry will actually be reduced. So your carve quality will go down. So I recommend nothing over a 1/2 of an inch. You want to measure the material to about right there. And that's where this little locator comes into play. That does not allow the material to be as, down as, you know what I'm talking about. So right where the bit ends is what I recommend, because there's a lot of backlash. Now, so we talked about how these break. But Inventables does not include any extras. So, with your $2,500 CNC machine, you don't get any extra of these bits, and you don't get too many clamps. Yeah, you get a couple clamps, but you don't get too many. And you don't get the pro version of Easel. I think that is completely selfish, and I think this machine costs a bit of money to make. Probably like, I don't know, just a rough estimate, probably around $800. And and they could have included extra bits. Like, if they included like 2 more of these, I wouldn't have to wait like a week to use this again. So guys, that sums up my review of the Carvey. I think that's pretty much all I really wanted to say. If you have any questions below, please leave them. And on the end of the video, I will show you the carves. So if you're interested in that, then I'll show you the carves that this thing can produce. Now, I'm not going to leave the link to their website, considering that they did not send this out to review. I actually paid this with my own money. It was actually a great investment. But before I sum it up, is this worth it for $2,500? If you're a small business and you need to carve things for prototype use, best CNC machine out there for the price. But if you're a homeowner and you're on a tight budget, do not consider this machine. And I'm telling you that right now. This is not for a home user. This is for the person who wants to tinker around. Maybe a high-end home user who is making prototypes. This is not for the novice. You need to know 3D printing and CNC machining before you invest in this machine. But my gosh, is this machine sturdy and fantastic. This machine is great. So I do recommend it, but at $2,500, that's a hefty price tag. And that's not even including shipping. Shipping is about $80. And the weight of the Carvey is about 80 pounds. So keep that in mind as well. So I'm going to stop rambling on. I'm going to show you some of the carve results. And you're going to be as shocked as me about how good they came out. So please stick around and I'll show you the results.
Hey guys.